the same kind of issues, just in a different context. And so today I'm here to tell you 10 ways that you're probably leaving money on the table in the hopes that you guys can use these tips to get the money that you deserve. So like I said, if you have any questions, just speak up and I'll be happy to answer them. But before I get started, for people who don't know me, I just want you to know I'm Krista. I'm a seasoned Silicon Valley tech entrepreneur, a career and business coach, a content creator, a LinkedIn micro-influencer, and the founder of the Sassy Method, which is a mindset coaching program, and From Follower to Leader, which is a program to teach others great content creation and social selling. So let me just go into these reasons because I see them over and over. So the first one is what I call short-term thinking, or maybe tunnel vision. What does this mean? This means that people are thinking about the here and now, like what they need right now. Hold on. I've got a technical issue. How do you invite people? Copy to clipboard. I'm going to update the event. Sorry, guys. I just sent the wrong link to everybody. Hopefully they can see me. And there we go. Great. Technically challenged. Did I get it? Hold on one more second. I just want to make sure I've got this link updated. Apparently people can't see it. Let me make sure. I don't know why, but it is not working. Yes. I'm going to share this again just to make sure, and hopefully they can see it there as well. Okay, back to business. So, I was saying that the first reason I think that people are leaving money on the table is tunnel vision. And it's normal because what people are focused on is their short-term success. So they're worried about, how can I make money in the next month? How can I make money immediately? And what that does is it forces you to undersell yourself. It forces you to take opportunities without thinking, does this align with my big goals? Is this what I'm worth? No, because you've put yourself in a position where you just have to take these jobs, right? And that's what I mean by tunnel vision. And what is the solution to that? The solution is to actually develop a big term thinking about your life. And this is really for your life, for your job, for your business. It's just like a GPS. When you get in your car and you drive, you're not just randomly driving around being like, oh, that place looks good, let me stop over there. You need to have a plan and a map and a guide and know where you want to go, and then what do you want to do when you get there. So it's okay to do some discovery in your life, especially early on in your adult life. Go out and explore. But when you start getting serious about a career, it's really important to think about the way you want to live. And I like to call this a North Star mission statement. And if you guys look at my YouTube channel, there is a video all about how to create one. And what it is really developing a mission and vision statement for your life, right? And I wish more people would stop this short-term thinking and start thinking big picture about where they want to go. Now, some people listening might say, well, that's easier said than done. I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life. I don't know where I want to end up. That's okay. But one thing you have to know is you have to start exploring, try out things, know what you like, what you don't like, know what your natural passions and talents and interests are. Explore what options you have within those careers. I mean, this is one thing that's kind of sad that we don't get enough of in high school and in our early 20s is just getting some really good consulting to know what our options are or what we should try out. I don't think that there's enough support in those early years. So a lot of times people end up in just taking jobs because it's time, they need money, right? And then you wonder why you're not getting paid what you deserve. So the more you can look big picture and think, what is my North Star mission statement, the better. And like I said, I've got a YouTube video and I've got a podcast. If you look up Take Back Mondays on any channel where you listen to podcasts, I think I stream to like 10 different locations. So please look it up and you'll see that I did a podcast and a video on YouTube about this called the North Star Mission Statement, Getting the Life That You Want. And I truly believe that that's going to be the solution, because once you've got that mission statement, you'll really make more selective decisions about trading your time for money. And, it's not about just getting rich. It's also about being fulfilled and thinking, have you ever heard the expression, I'm not paid enough to do this? That's because you don't enjoy it. There's things that you don't enjoy. So the ideal happiness in life is to find something you enjoy and you're good at, and then develop those skills. Develop a high demand skill that you can charge good money for, but that you also love doing. And, life is not just very fixed. You have to think about long-term, all the things you can potentially develop. And so thinking more big picture is really the first thing that I feel would help more people stop settling for crappy jobs and take less money just because they have to. The other thing that I want to mention about getting paid the money you deserve is being too passive. So a lot of people I see, they're just kind of like, well, my employer is going to take care of me. No, your employer is not going to take care of you, because your employer is not your babysitter. Your employer does not owe you anything except to pay you for the hours you worked, which in many cases, some don't even do that. Okay. When I think of all the unpaid overtime and additional tasks that some people have told me about that they've had to do, I would say that even that you can't count on all employers to treat you fairly. So stop being passive and start thinking, no, I'm going to be the director of my career. And in order to get more money, you're going to have to create SMART goals. Your boss is not going to do that for you. Your parents are not going to do that for you. Your boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse definitely is not going to do that for you. Okay. So in order to make more money, start formulating your own SMART goals and be active about it. Take charge of your career. And if you need help with that, I'm going to do some goal setting workshops at the end of this month and then in June as well. So just reach out to me. You can reach out to me on any social platform. I'm the only Chris DeMilleon. And if you find any other Chris DeMilleons, let me know, because trust me, I'm the only one. And just ask me about it, and I'll send you a link to come to the workshop where we're going to go into detail how to do that, because that's definitely a way to make more money by having clear goals in your life. The third thing that people are doing wrong, in my opinion, is not managing your time. I definitely think that people just kind of take advantage of their time, waste it, misallocate things. So in my training, I go into a lot of detail about how people are wasting their time. And one of the things you guys can do right now is to keep a time journal, because when you keep a time journal, you will see, what are you doing right? What are you doing wrong? And it could be really powerful for you to, as a wake-up call, right? To understand what you can do better. So the fourth thing that I think people are doing is not having the right people by your side. So I'm a really big advocate of surrounding yourself with people who can help you in your life and removing negative people from your life. And The truth is that you become like the people who you associate yourself with. So if you're spending all your time with people who are negative, who are lazy, who, I don't know, just don't have any ambition, then you're going to become like them. So if you want to make more money, be around people who are successful, right? And not everyone has to be rich, but people definitely have to be uplifting, ambitious, positive, um, and just helping you a lot in your life. So some of the people I consider should be part of your success team are mentors, coaches, a sponsor. If you work in a company, when I do career coaching, I like to tell my career clients that they need to find a sponsor. And a sponsor is someone at least 2 levels above them who can really support them in their career and open doors for them that otherwise they wouldn't. And it's never your boss. It's definitely not your boss. So I can go into a lot of detail about that, but definitely the idea is that if you want to make more money, surround yourself with people who really are ambitious and inspire you and are doing well, right? So a fifth reason that I think people don't make enough money is because they don't invest enough in their personal brand. So it's crazy, but you can charge a lot more money when your brand is up to date and complete. So, this seems to be for a lot of people something that they don't need. It's optional, or it's just not at all on their minds, when really it plays a huge role. It's really very powerful to have a personal brand and do your best to impress people. Now, who should have a personal brand? It's everybody. I mean, when I work with anybody, career people, business owners, every level, I look at their brand, and think, how can we improve their brand? What does it mean? What is personal branding? Personal branding is how you present yourself. This is visually, this is in the words you use, your photo, your content, everything about you that they could find online is really part of your personal brand. And I don't think anybody really is exempt today. As long as you're online, you're definitely going to need to work on your personal brand. And this will actually bring you more money. So another thing that I think people are doing that really can impact their money is a bad lifestyle. What's wrong, honey? Come here. So a bad lifestyle means being lazy, being inconsistent, just not having any SMART goals. So what's the solution? Is really to have strong routines and success habits. And if you want to make more money, you're going to have to be self-disciplined. It's not about just hard work, by the way. It's about impressing by your diligence, by taking the extra effort, going the extra mile. So mistakenly, a lot of people think that they will be rewarded for hard work, and that's a myth. People get rewarded because you got visibility and credibility from the right people. So how do you do that? You do that by having really strong success habits and then stepping out of your comfort zone to try to over deliver. And that's what I mean by having those good habits versus a bad lifestyle. So a further habit that I think people need to stop doing is people pleasing. So the one way to lose all your money in life is to people please. So the more you are complacent and agree and accept conditions, the nicer you are at work, the worse you will be paid. So, and unfortunately, it seems that goes against the popular opinion. Most people are always trying to please their bosses and just over deliver, but it's not working, because what happens is you can get into a point where people just think that you're always going to agree with them, and it puts you in a position where they just pile on more work on you. And they don't really reward you. They may dangle the carrot. That's what I call it, when they promise that they're going to give you a promotion or a raise, but they won't. And the same when you are a business owner and you have clients and you think, oh, I'll do this extra thing for them. They'll be really happy about it. But every time I've done that in my career, it backfires, because the more you kind of give to people, there's an expression where we say, if you put out your hand, someone will bite off your arm. And I think that's true, is that it's better to be fair and square with people and deliver and be very professional and pleasant and do a great job, but be very careful about people pleasing. So how do you not people please? The main thing that I think people need to learn to do is to stand up for themselves and ask for what they want. And what that means is asking for the raise, learning to negotiate, learning to be assertive, right? Learning to be a little bit sassy, and also learning to say no. I mean, people pleasing is also about role playing when you get in situations like, I think this one we could talk about for an entire hour, because many people in their career are accepting things that they shouldn't. So what do you do when your boss piles a bunch of extra work on you? You need to go back to your boss and say, I just looked at my schedule and I realized that I'm really overbooked. I have too much on my plate right now. And I want to ask you, I want to go through what I'm working on, and I want you to help me prioritize and tell me what is lesser priority and what can I get help on by maybe assigning some of this work to someone on the team, getting me an assistant, or putting it off to a later time, right? So you have to learn to have those conversations. You need to learn to go back and talk to your boss about this. Or if your boss is giving you the job of 5 people, in terms of not just workload, but in terms of competencies, you need to go back and research what the title should be and say, I need a title change because I'm not doing the work of a coordinator. I'm doing the work of a senior project manager, and have those conversations. So what is the worst thing that can happen to you? I mean, the worst thing that can happen to you is your boss mistreats you. And in that case, you shouldn't be in that job in the first place, because a good leader is going to listen to you and try to work with you. They're not going to insult you or fire you. So if that does happen, then good riddance, because you're in the wrong job with the wrong person who's not going to help you in your career, who's not going to promote you and bring you up to the level you want to be at. So it's almost better to be unemployed than to be with the wrong boss, because seriously, long term, it's really important, because later those recommendations can play a big role. So why give up more of your life working for the wrong person? So Derek says, the last 4 times I asked for better working conditions, I got fired, had to quit to prevent getting fired, got fired, and had to quit to prevent getting fired again. I am so sorry to hear that. That's just one of the, it doesn't surprise me, sadly. I wish it did, but it doesn't. And I just want you to know that I seriously empathize with you. And this is one of the reasons that I love coaching people, because I'm like fighting for you, and I've been able to help people get out of bad jobs on good terms. I've been able to help people switch managers and stay in the companies that they wanted. I've been able to help people negotiate raises, and all of these things have come over a lot of time, and mostly knowing how to be assertive with people and be a really good communicator. So I think that I'm blessed with 2 skills in my life. One is empathy. So I really feel people, and that's why I'm naturally drawn to stuff like coaching and mentoring. And the second gift I have is communication. So I've always been blessed to be able to sell well, negotiate well, write well, present well, and I think now create content well. And the reason for that is because I speak from my heart and I'm fearless. I don't care. But I have also, and this is something I didn't put I didn't think of telling you guys, but I'm going to tell you now. I really master my emotions. So I am human, and as a human, sometimes I get upset, jealous, disappointed, angry, just like anybody. But over the years, I've become really good about distancing myself from those feelings and saying, yeah, this is disappointing, this is upsetting. So I observe the feeling and then I let it go, but I'm not going to let it consume me. Okay. And that's another thing on the job is get over your fear and think, you know what? I am worth this money. I am worth having recognition from my boss. I am worth working in a good environment. I do not deserve anything less. And this isn't ego, by the way. This is self-worth. This is your self-confidence. I mean, if you're going to stay in a crap job, it must mean you think you're worth that, right? And what if you're saying, Krista, that's easy for you to say. I don't have a choice. I have bills to pay. Well, everybody has bills to pay. And in fact, talking about that, one of the best things that you guys can do in your life is to be financially free by stop playing the rat race game of overspending beyond your means just to show off to other people that you have a lot of money when you actually don't even really have that much money. So I see this all the time, this materialism. And I think that one of the reasons people are stuck working in crap jobs for crappy people is because they get into this rat race mentality of, oh, I need to work to pay my bills. Therefore, I'm going to accept any treatment, any kind of crap job that I need, just to survive. And that's no way to live. But why are they in that position in the first place? Right? I think that, being in those jobs, what are you going to do afterwards? You're going to once you start accepting negative work environment, bad treatment, underpay, there's no end to it because your dignity has been damaged. And once your dignity is damaged, it can take years of therapy. It's like you have PTSD from a bad job. And trust me, I have coached so many people and I see the damage. I see the damage that goes on for years. So if you think that that's worth a few dollars, when later on you're going to have to pay for years of therapy and you're going to struggle for years to get over it, I would rather walk into my boss's office and say, I quit and run out the door, and take a job sweeping, or I'm not joking. Get over yourselves and think, I have enough dignity that I'm not going to accept less than what I've decided upon. And when you're thinking about salary negotiations, you have to do two things. You have to research what you could make in that career. And if you're being underpaid, you go in with a number in your head. And if the numbers don't match up, you don't accept it. You're like, this is one of the things that I don't understand is why people don't prepare better for negotiations, but they don't. And the other thing that's really one of the reasons why people are not making more money is the lack of business networking. So I will be doing a few workshops on business networking. I keep getting asked about it. It seems to be one of the skills that people just don't learn. And so hold on one sec. I'll be right back. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I'm almost done. I'm gonna finish up and then I come in. Get in there like a Tina. Now mommy will come, okay? I'll get it. I have to take the phone so I can do Clubhouse. But I'll come back, okay? Here you go. There you go. And I'll be right back, okay? I love you. Sorry guys, it's like one of those bad days. Sick kid. But I really want to get this off my chest though, because this really breaks my heart as an empath when I see this. And as you can tell, I'm a little bit angry as well. And that is that people get into this fixed mindset where they're just like, okay, I've got a job. I should be thankful for what I have. Their boss reinforces that belief, which is completely false, that this is it, that they should they should just keep putting up with it. They should accept whatever they're given and be content with it. And then they don't do anything outside of work. And that's the biggest mistake. It's like you should be in a position where you're learning how to business network. You've got regular business networking activities. And what does that really mean? So, like I said, I'm going to be doing a workshop all about business networking. So today I'm just going to give you a very quick summary. What I mean by business networking is you need to know what industry you have a high skill in, and you need to go out and become known in that industry and network with other companies, network with other professionals, join associations, volunteer, go try to find opportunities where you can do workshops and teach other people, where where you really become known in your industry. And that's something I don't see people doing enough. And that's why I really want to talk a lot more about the business networking, because when you do that, you're going to get people who start following you, start knowing you, and you're going to build relationships in your industry, and that could lead to jobs in other companies. You know that the majority of jobs are not posted online. They don't even get to HR. A lot of the best jobs are by introduction in the back door, that people introduce potential candidates to their employers. And so that's where I really want people to spend more time, is business networking. And if you do that, you'll never be without money. You'll always have these relationships that you can fall back on. We must invest more in relationships. And again, I think the reason people don't do this enough is because they have this short-term, very fixed mindset about, I just need a job, I have a job, and I'm not going to do anything more than what I have right now. And that's so sad. It's really definitely a big mistake. And I wish people would know that and be more aware of that. So the last thing that I really believe about why people aren't making enough money is really lack of belief in themselves. And it is a vicious cycle, because if you start accepting mistreatment in the disguise of people pleasing, where you're like, I just am going to accept these conditions, and then there's this fake kind of hope, like things will get better, but things don't. Then you start getting used to this bad treatment. And then over time, it wears you down. It wears you down, and you just think, okay, maybe I'm not good enough. It creates a lot of self-doubt in yourself. That's why it's so important that you not accept it, and you negotiate, and you get out if it doesn't work. And you've got a lot of opportunities because you've networked around you. Because seriously, what the last piece of the puzzle is just thinking, this is all I'm good for. Like, I'm not going to find anything else. I'm not going to get out of this situation. I'm never going to make real money. I'm always going to be in this kind of struggle. And once you decide that, you're done. You're done for. There's nothing that can save you, because right there, what that is it is a victim mindset. And it's a limited belief. It's a lie that you cannot strive for the highest amount that you can achieve, right? And that's why I truly believe in the law of attraction and the rule of manifestation, and really thinking what you believe you can achieve. But if you're in a negative situation where you're not making good money, you've got crappy employers, crappy clients, you're being exploited, let's put it that way. The longer you let that happen, the more likely you are to stay stuck. It won't get better for you ever. On the contrary, because at that point you've given up, and you've just resigned yourself to being kind of in that position. And hope won't get you there. The only thing that will get you there is learning to negotiate and stand up for yourself without getting your emotions involved, keeping a cool head, staying positive, but being able to go back and negotiate for yourself. And it takes some time and effort and role playing. And the second thing is really set your goals from your heart, not just like, I'm going to try to get this, or I'm hoping that this will happen, or if I'm lucky, maybe. That's not any way to live. You need to have smart goals that tie back into the vision that you have for your life. And this vision has nothing to do with anyone else's. So you can't be looking at your neighbor, your cousin, your brother-in-law, whatever, and being like, oh, I need to be like them. That's no way to set your goals. Your goals have to come from who you are. And that's what I talk about in the North Star mission statement. And once you've got that, then you all the indecisiveness goes away, because everything becomes a yes, no in your mind. Because it's either, yes, this is bringing me towards my goals, or no, this is not bringing me towards my goals. I need to make a plan to get out of here. And so if you want to stop leaving money on the table, you're going to have to know what direction you want to go in. You're going to have to business network. You're going to have to become assertive and not put up with anyone mistreating you. And you're going to have to build a success team of people who advise you, support you, and really help you. And these people will not be your bosses. Like, very, very, very rarely. I would say if you find a boss like that, it's a miracle. It's a miracle, because most bosses are not cut out for that. So I highly recommend that you really keep looking around for the types of people who can support you in your industry, who value your skill. You know, the best kind of support team are the people who have recognized your skill in your area and in your industry, and love it. And they're like, I love your work. And those people are the ones who will recommend you to others. They will be your cheerleaders. They will support you whenever they can. And those are the kind of people you have to build up around you, right? Get outside of your bubble. The worst thing you can do is stay in one job and with your head down and not be constantly networking with other people in your industry, making a name for yourself. That's another big one that people seem to be really lazy about. I'm like, come on, guys, what are you doing? Oh, I'm working. Well, it's a vicious cycle, because if you're neglecting your personal brand because you're working, but you don't like your job, you're never going to get out of the job. So you have to find time to go out there and present yourself to the world so that you become known in your industry. And have some ambition, but ambition is different from ego. A lot of people get the two confused. Ego is when you are trying to achieve things for show, which means you want to show off to everyone else. Hey, look at me, I'm so important. A lot of times it's human nature. So I like to ask myself, why do I want to achieve something? Is it me who really wants this, or is it to show somebody? Is it because someone else has that and I'm just kind of jealous, right? So it's important to ask yourself these questions, because we are human, and sometimes our motives might not be quite what we think they are. So seriously, if you do all these things, you are going to make more and more money, because you'll get crystal clear on what matters and what doesn't matter, how you want to be treated, how you don't want to be treated, who should you have in your life, and who should you throw out of your life. And everything becomes yes, no, north, south. Life is actually a lot simpler this way. The way we live is with a bunch of maybes, some days, if I'm lucky, when my boss feels like it, all these unknowns. And that's not a way to live. The only way to live is knowing which direction you want to move towards, doing things every single day to get there, not putting up with anybody's crap, and learning how to advocate for yourself and never, ever wait on anybody. because your life is ultimately only up to you. And all these other people are either supporting you or bringing you down, but none of them are making the decision for you. And that's something I think more people need to hear, who are always waiting on somebody else to do decisions in their life, when actually that's not how life works. So thank you guys for tuning in. I would love to hear if you have any stories or questions about money. And, I've gotten so many stories in my coaching and also online in different groups that I belong to. And so I definitely think that this is a big hotspot topic for people. And again, I think money is even one of the most sensitive topics because it ties into our ego. And when your ego's involved, then you tie your paycheck or how much you make into your worth. And that's a huge mistake because, guys, in my life, I've made everything. And I can tell you that my worth has never changed. I don't think you can tie your worth into how much money you make. Instead, tie your worth into what kind of a human being you are and say, am I a valuable human being? Am I out there contributing to this world? Or am I doing nothing? Or on the contrary, am I just taking from myself? And being, egotistical, narcissistical, whatever. Those are the questions that you should be asking yourself. And then you won't ever have to worry too much about money because you'll know what you're trying to achieve. You'll know what you're good at. You'll be aligning yourself with things that you actually are truly passionate about. So thank you guys for listening, and reach out to me on all social platforms. I'd love to know about money. And also, if you're interested in my goal setting workshop or my time management workshops, reach out to me as well, and I'll send you the links. Have a great one, and hopefully I'll come back and do this show more regularly. I've been a little hesitant because my internet is not very stable. I'm in the mountains, but I'm trying. So have a good one, guys, and see you around.